We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. I'm recording this on the 4th of July. I hope all of you guys are having a great 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Thank you to all the veterans and men and women who have given their lives in service to this great nation. I wanted to cover two things that I have seen in the news recently. There's been quite a few things that I could discuss, and maybe I will. You know what? Screw it. Fuck it. Maybe I just might get into all of it. We did have the Supreme Court ruling on student loan forgiveness. That's number one. We also had the Supreme Court ruling on some LGBTQ plus things of that nature. And I think the Supreme Court got it right. Shocker, and this is going to end up being one of the lasting, I guess, consequences of, maybe not consequences, but the lasting effects of Trump being in office. One of the good things that he did whilst in power was putting forth a conservative Supreme Court, putting forth conservative principles at the Supreme Court level. That was huge. It was simply huge. So, and we're seeing the ramifications of that in a positive way. Now, on the flip side, I've said it before with regards to the student loan forgiveness thing in particular. I don't think it's moral for the taxpayers, the citizens, to have to pay for individuals who are massively in debt. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily fully on the side of some conservatives who say, well, they got to pay it. They have to take responsibility. They're adults. They took the loans out, and they need to take responsibility. They need to take responsibility for their actions and getting, if they didn't want to pay for the student loans, they shouldn't have done it in the first place. And the thing about that is that it's never that black and white. And two things can be true at once. On one hand, it can be true that, yes, it's not within the president's power to just cancel a bunch of debt. And it's not right that the citizens of this country will have to fit the bill. But on the same token, college is a major, huge scheme, and something that many of these colleges and the people within them take advantage of. When it comes to any loan besides a student loan, is there any bank that would give that type of loan to any 18, 19, 20, let's say anybody below the age of 21, that big of a loan besides student loans? Of course not. You'd be hard pressed to get that type of loan for a car. But for student loans, it's allowed for some reason to put people $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in debt at the age of 19 because, well, it's good for business. And so that's what I'm saying, that two things can be true at once. And, would I have been upset had it went the other way and that the loan forgiveness would have occurred? No, I wouldn't have been upset per se. But equally, I'm not upset by this decision. I do think that Republicans and conservatives that this is a great opportunity for them to come up with a better solution in which to give American citizens relief that won't cost the taxpayers a bunch of money and will provide some retribution and relief to these individuals who were so young when they took out these student loans, because that's equally not as fair. Now, moving on here, the LGBT thing, they absolutely got correct. I have no qualms with that. And that is probably going to be the biggest fight of our lives, is going to be on the LGBTQ and gender situation. That is probably going to be the defining probably topic of this generation. That, abortion, and immigration, those three things are going to be the defining situations of our lifetime that will shape America in the future. So they did not get that wrong, but I did just want to share, this is fucking hilarious. I saw this. I don't know if you guys have seen the show The Sopranos. I just got done watching it again. I've probably seen it 2 or 3 times. Great show. I don't think it's as good as some people think. I think it's just one of those classic cultural phenomenons in which people get a hard on, and they get the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and so they over dramatize how good it really was. But it's definitely a decent show. But this dude, this fucking douchebag, Michael Imperioli, who I saw him on the Joe Rogan show. So I thought he was with it. I thought he was a homie. I thought he was a fucking fellow king. Nope, false. He's not. He is not a true homie. Look at this fucking scumbag. Look at him. No, that's too much. That's too much heat, Chad. Michael Imperioli forbids bigots and homophobes from watching The Sopranos. It's a difficult situation. It's a very difficult situation. The White Lotus, and any of his work after anti-LGBTQ plus SCOTUS ruling. It's just funny. This is just fucking hilarious on multiple levels. Number one, this fucking douchebag actually thinks that people give 2 flying fucks about what he has to think enough. He takes himself so seriously, in which he thinks that any person is going to fucking listen to him saying this. Can you imagine taking yourself so seriously that you say, unless you believe this, you cannot, you can't even look at me. You can't even make eye contact with me. What a douchebag. But again, as you know, we've seen with Mel Gibson and a few other brave Hollywood individuals exposing Hollywood. Hollywood is just full of self-righteous, self-conscious goobers. So that's number one. Number two, it just shows like this is a perfect example of somebody who thinks that they're with it, that they're still with it, they're in step with the young folk, with the youngsters, but they're not. He probably thinks that he's going to get some brownie points with a bunch of the youth for making a statement like this, and it's the same old with all the Star Wars, all of these franchises, Bud Light. It's the same thing where they kowtow and they think that they're going to get some big reward for it because they're NPCs. At the heart of it, they are NPCs. They think they're with it, but they have no clue what the fuck is going on. Okay. And so they make a move like this thinking, because, according to CNN and according to MSNBC, failing organizations, less and less people watch it every year. They think that the LGBTQ plus is everybody loves it. Everybody thinks it is with it. And everybody, wants to support it and thinks it's the best thing in the world. I guarantee that is his mindset. But little does he know, because he's a fucking NPC, that is a small minority of the population who gives any 2 shits about this and feels positively in any sort of way about this shit. Most people either don't give a fuck one way or the other, or don't like it. It's a very small amount who actually do like this type of shit. So it's just absolutely hilarious to see something like this. This guy is such a douchebag, and I wish I didn't see this. As I get older, I realize more and more that the statement "ignorance is bliss" is really a true statement. Now, ultimately, I would still rather know the truth about things than not know. But now when I watch The Sopranos, I'm not gonna, especially his character was super against homosexuals. And now I'm not going to be able to watch The Sopranos, specifically his character, without saying, damn, this guy sucks. Still a good character, though. So, just another example, guys, of Hollywood not being with it. Let's see if we can see it on Instagram. See what the fuck he wrote. Oh, he took it down. He took it down. Pussy. Pussy. He was also in there's a show I've seen it a few times. Here, let's pull him up. I've seen it a few times. It's the guy from X-Files, and he is a writer from New York, but he's living in Hollywood, and he's banging all of these broads. And let me pull it up real quick. Californication with David Duchovny or whatever, David Duchovny. So I've decided to forbid. Let's read this shit. I've decided, I've decided to forbid bigots and homophobes from watching The Sopranos, The White Lotus, Goodfellas, or any movie or TV show I've been in. He posted on Instagram, "Thank you, Supreme Court, for allowing me to discriminate and exclude those who I don't agree with and am opposed to. USA, USA." What a douchebag, bro. What a douchebag. Seriously. Just another example of Hollywood actors and actresses thinking they're with it. In reality, they're NPCs. Because this shouldn't surprise. This is the last thing I'm going to say on it, guys, is it shouldn't surprise you that by and large actors and actresses do shit like this. Because to be an actor, you have to be somebody who needs validation, who is self-conscious, who needs the constant judgment and critique of them. The type of individuals that gravitate towards that in and of itself are individuals who are NPCs, who they're not searching for the truth. They're not searching for meaning. They're not searching to make a real impact in the world. It's all just fluff bullshit. So moving on here, the last thing I want to talk about is France. Man, this is from Revolver News. French police union declares civil war in France. It's us or the violent minorities. I mean, what do you guys want me to say? I mean, I'm not surprised, and you guys aren't either. I mean, it's the one guy who said the one comic book writer guy who said there's no salvaging it, the relationship between races. There's no salvaging it. Just leave it alone. Just get the fuck away. Just get as far. Let me see if I can get that pulled up. So here it is right here. Scott Adams. So I found this. I can't find without devoting a lot of time to it. But that's who I was talking about, is Scott Adams. So listen, guys, you should not be surprised by this. I mean, where these people come from, their country is the way it is for a reason. And it's maddening, it's sickening, and it's sad that there are some people who live in this delusion land where where you come from and the principles and foundations and um, morals of that culture do not come with them when they leave said country. It's maddening. It's unreal that these people don't understand that. I think they do. I used to think that they didn't know that, but now I think they do, but they just feed us bullshit like they don't know it's true so that they can invoke their worldview of, the elites ruling over us. But that's a whole nother thing, because when you that's a whole nother video for another time. But as you get into politics more and more, you realize that it's not Republicans versus Democrats. It's not even conservative versus liberal. It's the elites versus the rest of us. And there is a ruling class for each country, and there's an even smaller ruling class for the world, in which they try to invoke their next plan over they see us as nothing more than mere ants. And when you see shit like this happen and you go, well, how could they let that happen? It's because they don't give a fuck about us. And it has nothing to do with liberal versus it has to do with them trying to affect their bottom line the best and easiest way they know how. So this is not surprising. Anytime you have people from another country who have different morals, different cultural background, unless they are willing to totally assimilate, they're going to take they're going to totally exploit your country, your nation. Let's watch this shit. See, this is just a moron right here. Just, you think that this fucking guy is gonna love France in any meaningful way? Fuck no. Look at this fucking bozo. Anyways, just terrible. France is fucked, guys. It's over. French Revolution. The French police have lost control of the streets and, in frustration, are cracking down on every infraction with maximum force. Can you think back to like Louis the Sun King and some of the great French individuals in society, liberal, whatever the fuck, in history? Do you think any of them could have visualized or predicted that this is how France would end? That this is how it would end? Now, who knows? Maybe some of them did predict this. I mean, a lot of times how powers end is from within. They crumble from within. So maybe some did predict this, but I doubt very many of them would have predicted that France would import people on purpose in mass amounts from Africa and from some of these other countries purposefully, and that they would end up being the ones who take down that country. You'd be crazy if you thought that. Let's listen to what Trump, who knows, maybe some of them did predict that. But the point is that you just reflect on the great French history and this is what it has become. Let's see if we can find uh France world ranking. I was looking at this earlier today. They're ranked number 9 overall. I think that that's a bit high, to be honest with you. If they have shit like this going on, fuck. Man, spot on, Trump. Fuck. Wow, that's scary. Oh my gosh. Anyways, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not it, Islam continues their insurgents. Not That's also not surprising. In America, I wouldn't say, I mean, they're gaining ground in America too. There are areas in America where it is completely Islamic. Not like this. In America is much bigger than France is. I mean, you'd really only see that in parts of the Midwest, like Michigan and very small boroughs. But it's very interesting that Islam has continued its push forth. Um, and the 400 years to them is irrelevant, in like, it's a small time frame to them. They see this as their destiny. So, man, wow. France will become This from Amy Meck. France will become an Islamic country through jihad. The entire world will be subject to Islamic rule. The French will convert to Islam, be forced to pay jizya, poll tax, or be fought against for the sake of Allah. In 2017, France silenced my warnings. But see, the thing is that especially the liberal leaders, they don't give a fuck, because as long as it's a cohabitation of worldviews. As long as Islam continues to vote for them and put them into power, they're okay. And vice versa, as long as liberals continue to provide a pathway for Muslims to enter into the country, they're okay coexisting. Now, in reality, they're in complete opposition of each other, but for the time being, they're using each other until they no longer need it. The ends justify the means, if you will. Dismissing the major concerns I raised about the perils of their open border policies. Now, as I had forewarned, those concerns have materialized and the country is facing the consequences of being conquered. Wow. Holy shit. Let's see how many followers she has. 313,000. Fuck. All right, guys. Well, pray for France. It may be too late, honestly. Holy shit. So I just wanted to touch upon that a little bit. France is totally screwed. Look at this shit, guys. Damn. Wow. Oh, anyways, all right, guys. I'll have more for you guys as I learn more about the France situation. Um, but in the meantime, like I said, pray for France. And as I head out of here, I will pray myself. I don't always do this. Maybe I need to start doing this more. I was recently chrismated into the Eastern Orthodox faith, and I'm very happy that that finally happened. I'll share how that went in a future video and highlight it, just so if any of you guys are curious in converting to Eastern Orthodoxy, you guys will have kind of a step-by-step process of what to expect. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Definitely pray for France. I wanted to highlight that real quick. I will have more for you guys here moving forward. Look out for that chrismation video, and I will keep you guys plugged in. Last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy without facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you, King. See you guys next time. Peace.